All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Longtime Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin is not going anywhere as he will still be this team's head coach for 2024. Now, there was some speculation that Tomlin would not be returning this season, but he quickly put that to bed. Now, Tomlin is entering the final year of his deal with the Steelers, which did add some fuel to the speculation. But you look at what Tomlin has done during his 17 years in Western Pennsylvania: 173, 102 in 17 regular seasons with the Steelers. Never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. He's 8-10 in the playoffs. The Steelers have lost their last five playoff games. But you look at this past season, and Tomlin and the Steelers were able to get to the postseason in spite of having so many issues at the quarterback position. This past season alone, Pittsburgh was 25th in the NFL in passing. And even with all of that said, the Steelers still found a way to win 10 games. So you're looking at it, and the question is going to be, are the Steelers a quarterback away? And I think that they are, because you look at what they have on defense. I know that TJ Watt was not available for their wild card game this weekend against Buffalo, and that was big for them defensively. But you figure when Watt's healthy, you still got Cam Hayward, who is very formidable on that defensive line, and then you got Minka Fitzpatrick in that secondary. I like what the Steelers have defensively. They have some parts on offense. The offensive line is getting better. I like the 1-2 combination that the Steelers have at the running back position with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. When you watch Jalen Warren run, that young man runs with an attitude. You got George Pickens and Deontay Johnson at wide receiver. They have the talent, but can they put it all together? And then you've got Pat Fryermuth at tight end. I really do believe that the Steelers are a quarterback away, and it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the starting quarterback for Pittsburgh heading into the 2024 NFL season. Of course, we saw Pittsburgh use a first round pick a couple of years ago on the homegrown Kenny Pickett, if you will. And in 2 seasons in Pittsburgh, he's 14-10 as a starter. He's thrown 13 touchdown passes. He's thrown 13 interceptions, and he has a completion percentage around 62 and a half. And I will say this, um, prior to the injury this season, with Kenny Pickett, the ankle injury late, the Steelers were 7-4. Of course, Mitch Trubisky came in off the bench. They lost that game to the Cardinals, followed by a surprising loss to to the New England Patriots, and then the Colts. But they did rally to win their last three with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. And of course, some people are going to say, should Mason Rudolph be the starting quarterback for 2024? I look at it like this. I definitely don't think it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky. Um, I think with what the Pittsburgh Steelers invested in Kenny Pickett in a first round pick, they're going to give him a chance. I think Mason Rudolph could possibly be in the mix as well, but it wouldn't surprise me either to see the Pittsburgh Steelers go outside of the organization. You're going to have some veteran quarterbacks that are going to be available and some others that could possibly be available. I'm going to start with Russell Wilson. I think that Russell Wilson's days in Denver are over. I think a lot of us feel like that. It's a situation where Russell Wilson, like I talked about it before, Russell Wilson was never a fit for Sean Payton in Denver because Sean Payton never wanted him. Russell Wilson, in my opinion, was never a fit in Denver, period. Just due to the fact that you go back to 2022, the head coach that the Broncos had was Nathaniel Hackett, and they brought him in to sweeten the pot when they were looking to get Aaron Rodgers. And of course, that did not happen. So Russell Wilson never played in a system that he was comfortable with in in Denver. You bring him in to Pittsburgh, but for the sake of argument, if you do that, you've got to put him in a comfortable situation. And I'm just speaking hypothetically on this. Kirk Cousins could be available out there as a veteran quarterback. Will the Bears move on from Justin Fields and use that first pick on Caleb Williams? That's also a possibility. Would Pittsburgh be interested in him? I'm not sure. Ryan Tannehill, what's going to be his stature as the Tennessee Titans are looking for a rebuild? I'm not, I'm just throwing some names out there as far as possibly guys who could potentially be the Steelers starting quarterback for 2024. But at the end of the day, that's going to be a very important decision whether the Steelers decide to go with Kenny Pickett or go with somebody else because they've got the talent defensively. They have the talent at the skill positions on offense, and it's going to be so important to make that right decision because, like I've said before, and like others have said before as well, in the current National Football League, if you don't have that guy at the quarterback position, you're not going to win. Pittsburgh was able to win 10 games this season in the toughest division in the National Football League, in spite of their issues on offense. We saw them part with Matt Canada midseason. We saw them promote Eddie Faulkner during in the midseason to replace Canada, and that's going to be something else that's going to be very important. Who's going to lead this offense? Who's going to be the play caller for the Pittsburgh Steelers? All of that's going to be vital because they have to find a way to keep up with the Joneses. Yes, the Steelers made the playoffs this year. They won 10 games. No team in the AFC North had a losing record this past season. You would expect Deshaun Watson to come back healthy for the Cleveland Browns for next season. You still got the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson is the front runner to be the NFL's MVP this year. And then you expect the Cincinnati Bengals to have a healthy Joe Burrow heading into next season. So, of course, if you're Pittsburgh, you do not want to get, lost in the wash, if you will. So I think this is going to be a very important decision. Mike Tomlin definitely still wants to coach. I think he can coach at a high level. And I think this team, the veteran players, wanted him back. They went to bat for him. And I think Mike Tomlin, at the end of the day, truly wanted to be there. And if he wants to be there going past 2024, in my opinion, I think the Steelers definitely would have him. So it was a bittersweet end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or bitter, for the most part. No team wants to finish their season on a losing aspect. But to borrow a line from the late John Madden, there's only one team at the end of the year that finishes on a high note. Everybody else, their season ends with a loss. So nonetheless, you could see the potential, even the defeat that the Pittsburgh Steelers had to do bigger and better things. I think Mike Tomlin knows that. I think this organization knows that. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Tomlin and the Steelers retool for 2024. They've got the pieces, but they just have to figure out the quarterback position. Will the Steelers be able to do that? Only time will tell. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds Off Sports Knowledge Podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.